Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. How y'all doing? Happy Monday, or whatever day it happens to be, or watching this YouTube video. Obviously, it's a Monday when I'm making this video. It's around 9 a.m. here in San Antonio, Texas. Here in this tarot card reading studio. We've got Tarot Card Poppy Banjo. My mom and Tracy are currently on their way to the grocery store. That we say HEB. Like the letters HEB. So, Gypsy, she might meander her way in here. My mom doesn't crate her anymore, so she roams around freely in the house, free to do whatever she pleases, but most of the time she sits on my mom's chair. But that's what I see. But anyway, Tarot Card Poppy Benja's here eating his treat along with me. My door's open, and you might see Tarot Card Poppy Gypsy. Maybe it is kind of a little dirty. I have a plate over there. I'm a little embarrassed to show y'all, but not tell y'all. Okay. Just one more thing in my way. Alright, so we're doing the Dragon Tarot today. Welcome. Hope everything is well. I got kind of a no muss, no fuss makeup today. I know usually it's your tarot card reader. You might be used to me in some sort of avant-garde type makeup. Like, wow, most places of business would not allow you to wear that makeup. You gotta tone it down. But I toned it down today. I haven't been feeling very creative recently. What is creativity your left brain, and logic and reason your right brain? So I've been feeling a little less creative, so maybe that means I'm going to be motivated to do my research and studies of law and other things on the internet. But anyway, I've been toned down with my makeup because I'm feeling a little less left brain, a little bit more right brain. So, with that being said, we are still doing the Dragon Tarot. I know it says Dog Tarot, but it's the Dragon Tarot in here. I'm thinking we can go ahead and do the Crow Tarot spread. Crow Body Tarot spread. I should really look up what this is called. How do people talk about this? But anyway, I got my new sketchbook, and like I said, I usually do my poems in the back, and I only have one poem so far. If you're a writer or whatever, feel free to share enter into the conversation, your experiences and all that stuff. But when I write, usually I just sit down and I take a couple minutes and I'm just kind of just write, and it just kind of flows. Usually. But now these days I just have my book open and I'm just like sitting there looking at it, having a little bit of breakfast. Say nothing is flowing. I said, well, what do I have to say? Nothing creatively. So I guess it's as you say, a writer's block. Got a bit of a writer's block going. Got my coffee. Maxwell Coffee House, because I like the container. There's this cafe something. It starts with B, and it's espresso coffee. And I completely forgot about it. And I was looking through the pantry, and I was making some tea. The tea is in the very top of the pantry because I'm the only one that drinks it. The flavor tea, not the iced tea. anyway, so it's top of the pantry. We've got all these different kinds. I was gonna make some English breakfast yesterday evening, but I ended up not. I just made the hot water. I don't know what happened. Now that I think about it, I forget. But anyway, oh, it was because I was gonna make the tarot card video, but then I decided I'm not gonna make the tarot card video. So then I just left it. But anyway, just talking about coffee, you know, I would try this. I like the cans, the coffee in a can. My mom has a Keurig, and obviously, I think that would be really nice. And I'm thinking about now investing in an espresso machine. But anyway, maybe I should have wrote about coffee. Anyway, I hope you're doing well. Summer's winding down. It's Leo season. How about you? Yeah, August. Like I said, that's that. August. Any kind of theme maybe we could have. I don't know. One second. Okay. I saw a thinking just now. Maybe we can have this theme of this creativity and logic, or maybe creativity and logic type of situation. Things seem to be very kind of compartmentalized in the brain, which I think is interesting because your corpus callosum, the one that's there, is really good at multitasking. But things seem to be, for lack of a better word, compartmentalization, and with the brain, which I think is interesting because or maybe it's not. Maybe it just kind of seems that way, looks that way, as far as function and structure, but maybe there's like a little bit more to it. I don't know. The fascia, the blood-brain barrier. So we have a left brain and right brain. This a compartmentalization type of theme, but also maybe this kind of holistic type situation. Things maybe which might be voodoo. I don't know. Things maybe can be compartmentalized. Have you heard about the stories where they say like with organ donors, where they say that you can adapt the personality of the organ's original owner, whoever first had the organ. For some reason, they donate the organ, and the person who receives the organ kind of adapts the kind of personalities of the previous organ owner. Have you heard about that? Anyway, I think that's voodoo. Correct me if I'm wrong. Feel free to enter into the conversation. I don't know much about voodoo other than they say it's like could be a major religion. It's like really big, but we don't talk about it as a religion. At least here in the United States, maybe somewhere else y'all do. I don't know. But anyway, I'm guessing it's like voodoo. I'm not sure what else it could be. And when you think about it, that's when you say voodoo. Oh, maybe it's at one way to perceive this is a compartmentalization, but another way to work around this is this full body structure. Full body being the brain. Anyway, just throwing themes out there. Maybe it's too much out there. maybe not. I went to a free little library, not yesterday, the day before, and I got this a science fiction book. Been reading a lot of fiction stuff, but I'm also reading my Darwin book and all that. But anyway, I like fiction and I like nonfiction. So, and before I liked fiction, I said no to fiction. I said nonfiction only, right? Books, obviously not film. Duh. But anyway, um, is mystery. I said nonfiction only, except if it's a mystery. I had to say that because I'm in a house. At the time, I was in a family unit with all girls except my dad, and they like, very girly fiction books. So this is really feminine. I'm gonna need mystery. I'm gonna need suspense. But now, and I, even at the time, I would say science fiction is how, like, I don't even want to get into science fiction. In books and film, it's fine. But now, I'm science fiction this, science fiction that. So, I don't know. Your tastes change, like your taste buds and your brain, or no? You have different experiences and they mold you, and then you could change what you like. I don't know. I'm just being silly. 11 minutes, like 12 minutes. I guess we can go ahead and get started. So we're gonna do the Crow Tarot. Crow spread. So we can go ahead and get started. I got my coffee. Speaking of books, this little lab rat. This guy, it's a very recessive gened lab rat here. He's got little pink eyes, in case you didn't know, which is a recessive gene. Whiskers. But anyway, it's a lab rat. I had a little tag and explained all this stuff. I took it off, unfortunately, and then forgot everything. But nonetheless, I got this little lab rat at Half Price Books with a gift card. And that's really our decoration here. I've changed some of these paintings around. Obviously not these. But anyway. It's a little lab rat here, in case you're wondering. A recessive gene lab rat. Which in the tag, one last thing. In the tag, it said lab. It might be a mouse. Rat or mouse, I don't know. But the tag says lab mice. Now I think about it, I think it's a mouse. Have been absolutely imperative, essential to research for like health cures and medicine and stuff like that. And I'm thinking, at first you can be like, this is terrible. They're testing things on animals. I wouldn't disagree with you. Well, I wouldn't. But on the other hand, I'm thinking like, if you work real hard to be an expert at your field or whatever field you happen to be in, what I think in most of public square would say is some sort of expertise going on there, and then you work with these animals, and I'm thinking like, well, what if it was the norm and average that you care so much about this stuff, you've put in all this effort for all this stuff, that you're actually really nice to the lab mice, right? You're like a zookeeper, but a researcher. And what if that's how most people are like? But that's their job to do that. right? No, Benji? Maybe, just throwing it out there. You know what's been happening with this Dragon Tarot is, I've been getting a lot of reverse stuff. I said, do I need to flip the deck or something? Why is all my cards reversed? So we'll see how this goes. Okay, so is there anything you want to do to the deck? Like a whammy. So my grandpa used to do a double whammy. Freaking luck. Okay, great. Let's go ahead and get started then. Come in the window. Alright, Bridget, do you have a card for us? Benjo has given us the reverse Page of Cups. Why do you give us a bad card, Benjo? So as you see, it is this dragon. He got all these little eggshells. Sorry, cups, coins. A page of reverse Page of Coins. This is not good. I've decided I don't like the Page of Cups, and I forget what I said in my last tarot about the pages. A certain page. But right now the pages are on the outs. As your tarot card reader, I'm just letting you know. Wanting to change your line of work or take on more responsibility. Doubt it. I don't want to waste time. Resources. And this is interesting for the page. The page upright, but reverse can just mean like a question mark, or not necessarily the complete opposite. But the Knight and Queen of Coins is a man or woman who wants to develop the work side of her life. Which is interesting because they're the Knight and Queen. Like you would think like that, if you hear that definition or the meaning to a card, you might assume the card would be lower than a page, like 2 through 10, right, of coins. But it's not. Here it is, the Page, Knight, and Queen. So I think that's really interesting. I'm wondering if it maybe has something to do with this, like this idea between like career and job. I don't know if that means anything to you, but when we were younger, I guess going to public school, like 1st through 12th grade, it was a job is like something that you have, and a career is like something that you put your I hate to say life into, but for lack of better words, I think that kind of captures, insulates. What I'm trying to get at, the job is kind of temporary and not necessarily something that defines you. represents you, but your career is, if you can understand that. So maybe this Knight and Queen are focused about career. When they say work, they mean like career, not job. And so here, Banjo's given us the reverse page of coins. Banjo, thanks for the card, tarot card, Puppy Banjo. I don't trust the pages. Pages are on the outs. Okay, I don't know what else to take. Banjo, he usually agrees with me, so in case you're wondering. Alright, let's see our heart energy. This might be our adversary. So, a heart energy. Ooh, this is very interesting. I really like this card. There's no other card. That's a skeleton dragon. And I think this card is so cool. As far as it being reversed, I'm not too concerned about it. I don't know, is that the scorpion symbol, that M with the arrow? Because if it is, I think the Scorpio and like Neptune, I think, maybe even Uranus, is about the beneath the surface. Ew! I saw the neighbor that I really, really don't like. Ugh. She wears yoga pants. Please, dear God, wear sweats. Anyway, this page coins. Anyway, this a Scorpio is very much in this. So you know how I say like the solar and lunar self. Scorpio is like lunar self and just like all things kind of hidden, mysterious, the subconscious, stuff that you can't just like take out and measure, nothing tangible. Okay, so I think this is very interesting as far as the death card and as far as it being our heart energy. I think if you're like my sister Tracy, she says she doesn't want me to do her tarot because she doesn't want to get the devil or the death card or something like that. If you're like my sister Tracy, I would just like to tell you that this is very much not any sort of foreboding or any sort of premonition that you have death or the devil in your near or distant future. This doesn't really have anything to do with your death or anything like that. It could indicate if you have experienced somebody who's passed on, that's in your support system or circle or whatever. It could indicate that. But other than that, if you're like my sister Tracy, this in no way represents anything like that. However, I really like this. I draw a lot with the skeletons and bones, and I think that as far as the concepts, it's very interesting. It's something that affects every single one of us. At some point in time, all of us are going to have the thought surrounding or involving death across our minds at some point in time, every one of us. There could be certain subjects and topics where this person over here and this person over here never have the same thoughts and stuff like that. But anyway, so this death card, I really like it. I think this dragon looks really powerful. Death is something very strong. The complete opposite of the Page of Cups here. Right? You have two different energies going on. This one is a Major Arcana deck card. Um, it just looks a lot cooler. Um, the death card is, as far as our heart energy and as far as reverse, I would say not to worry about it. As your tarot card reader, I see this card as a good luck card. It looks very cool, and um, a lot of this, like I said, like this kind of Scorpio vibes where things are just hidden, and which I guess is kind of like High Priestess. But anyway, um, this subconscious and uh, something that kind of like affects us. I don't think if there's anybody who can argue that there's not the existence of the subconscious, um, especially in terms of voodoo. I don't know. But anyway, it's just I like it. That very mysterious, very beneath the surface, like a scorpion. Um, the hourglass is we all must make the most of our lives, which is very positive, right? Um, because things are finite. And an egg, which is a symbol of rebirth, a reminder that all life must go on in one form or another. So I think this is a very, very positive card. Um, Usually with the death cards, there's discussion of um, especially reversed, of the inability to grow and learn from your mistakes, and therefore you're kind of stuck. Um, but like I said, this is the Dragon Tarot, and as your tarot card reader, I really like this card. This skeleton imagery, I think, is a bit like uh, uh, your bare necessities, kind of, right? Very much beneath the surface, very much don't judge a book by its cover and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and see our present as a platform for our future. The Nine of Cups. An emotionally sensitive man, or solar energy, but this is water, so I think it's very interesting. I usually connect water with this kind of a lunar and the fire and bronze with the solar. But anyway, your outward personality as opposed to like your inner thoughts and stuff like that, which is your lunar and shadow self. Um, but anyway, our present seems to be very pleasant. The night is a fighter energy, um, which again is the opposite of this Page of Cups here, or Page of Coins here. So our present, we have emotionally in tune, emotionally sensitive, emotionally aware of what's going on, which I think is very interesting, especially considering our heart energy is the death card. There's a lot of appropriately placed stuff here, which is great. So let's see something that's helping us or holding us back. The Four of Wands. So this is working together to achieve a common goal. That's what it is, upright. The common goal must be this little prism here of the stars. I don't know if you can tell, it might be blurry. But it being reversed, I think, is very interesting. Considering how kind of serious this death card can be, even though it can be very lighthearted, right? To make the most of your life and stuff like that. Not waste others' times, right? It's kind of respect thing. I think it's very interesting. We have the water upright and then the fire reversed. So we might have this yin and yang. We could have this compartmentalization maybe here with this Four of Wands and this kind of holistic kind of perspective with this upright Knight of Cups, the water. Um, so yeah, I would see this as a balance, and I would see it as something that's helping us working towards a common goal. I think that's great. And again, I would say that would be a card for us and not necessarily the Page of Coins over here. Trying to falsely take on more responsibility and falsely wanting to change their line of work. So I really like these cards here, and I would say this Four of Wands, even though it is reversed, it is something that's helping us. I'm thinking it might have something to do with maybe extremes, two ends of a spectrum, maybe opposites, maybe balance, right? Maybe not missing anything. You're going from here and you're going to go all the way to here, and there's not going to be any gaps anywhere. I don't know if you know what I'm trying to say. I don't know. So let's go ahead and look at our hopes and fears. So far so good. The Seven of Swords. I forget what this Seven of Swords is. All the swords kind of look the same. This one has little, so obviously there's swords here, but there's like little swords dropping there. And the swords being the air element and the head of the crow. I personally think that's really, again, appropriately placed. Your brain is usually associated with your intellect, and which is an air element. Intellect, logic, reason, debate, communication. Making an important but worthwhile sacrifice. I forget. Yeah, so this is a very honorable, very dedicated, duty, honor, courage is what's coming to my mind. Kind of crow body we have going on here. So yeah, all very positive, except of course for our Page of Coins, which is money, obviously, and strictly your work here in the Dragon Tarot. So let's see our grounding energy. A Seven of Coins. This is very interesting. Our work, money, strictly. This coins suit. This a Seven of Coins is approaching harvest time. This dragon did the work of crossing the bridge, but there's still a little bit more work to go. But a lot of the work is already done. So I guess our grounding energy is could be an equivalent to like in the Crow Tarot, the Two of Pentacles, where you just kind of keep up on your daily tasks and all that stuff. This kind of you put in a set aside time, you put in the work maybe every day or a couple times a week or whatever whatever it is, and that's your grounding energy. This non-procrastination type situation is your grounding energy. So I would assume that there would be some sort of enjoyment factor here. This isn't something that I think is strictly like something you don't want to do or a chore or something like that. There's I have a canna lily. It is 100 degrees outside, and you can tell by looking at my canna lily, but I think there was like a little caterpillar. It ate through the leaves here because there's like little dots there. But anyway, Yeah, so our grounding energy is very positive and very focused. We have very, very balanced crow body here, um, which I would say is a lot to do with probably experience. If you're a novice at something, maybe you don't know that something can be more efficient if put here because you just started doing something, and even though it may seem right, you haven't gone through certain experiences where you're like, well, in case this happens or if this happens, it's actually a lot better if this is over here. Um, so I would say that there's a lot of experience here in this these cards. These are all very positive cards, and I could really, if there's compartmentalization, I can really see how all of these things can also be seen as one entity, one unit. If something breaks it down, it can be referred to as this entire structure because of this connection and this I guess I hate to say inability because I think it's a little bit more like sincere. If something breaks down, it's going to affect all parts of these cards, right? If you're missing your grounding energy, then these are going to be affected too. So anyway, yes, very, very positive cards so far. This is a very much discipline and meaning and stuff like that. So let's see our past. The Nine of Coins. This is great. The Nine of Coins is very pleasant. I like the coins because they have the little mushroom, and I consider this like, maybe this can be like the equivalent of this little lab mouse today, a lab mice. Mushrooms are technically in Kingdom Animalia, not Kingdom plant, not the plant kingdom, but the animal kingdom, the mushrooms. And so they can technically be like a pet. If you go into Petco, they have this like these balls. I don't here in San Antonio. You go to Petco or PetSmart, both of them I think sell this stuff. Is these little like sea moss balls, and it's just a ball, and I'm like, that's great. Again, I just put that in a little fish tank, just have a little pet sea moss ball. I think it's supposed to be like for the fish or something, but still. Um, I like the coins here because they have their little pet mushrooms, these dragons. This Nine of Coins is not joint finances, is gaining recognition in the eyes of others. So I think this is very great. This is a very pleasant card. We have this black and white trees, and kind of reminds me of this upright water and this reversed fire. This black tree on this side is upright, and this white tree on this side is reversed. So a lot of, I guess, balance here with this Dragon Tarot. So we have a very pleasant past here. I would say a lot of seriousness, as opposed to this kind of